Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Goodwill Haul 5 Mega Haul. Now this was over the course of a week with different stops at two different Goodwills. And this time it wasn't for material. Most of this, if not all, is for me. So the first thing is this. Now, I didn't notice this at first. Actually, one of the workers noticed it and said it would be perfect for me, and then told Mother, who told me. And it's this little jacket. And it's just one of those little cottony cloth jackets. And it's pretty hefty, though. It's rather thick. And it has a hood and a little skull and mutant Japanese animal motif. They kind of look like weird Furbies. I don't know. I think one's a dog and it's an egg on feet. But the best part, it's a little Jolly Rogers. Now the weird thing about this, now I just don't understand this design element here. If you zip it up normally, like that. Now, that's where a hood would normally end, right? That would be your neck. Of course, you'd tie this around. Now, this goes all the way up. Now, there's no eye holes here, so you can see through. I have jackets that zip up purposely like this, and it's like a mask within a jacket, which is really cool, especially up here in New England winters. But this isn't opaque at any point, so, I mean, you can zip it up to like your nose, so your eyeballs kind of, sort of like Kenny in South Park, but it's just kind of a funny, silly, weird design element that I have no idea. But either way, it's a cool jacket. Now, the second thing is this. Now, the last haul I had gotten a little purse for an upcoming wedding, and I had made a handle for it since it didn't come with one, and it has a pink lining, which is more like this shade of pink, but I wanted something a little longer that I can kind of carry over my shoulders so I could have my hands free a little more, especially if you get your groove thing on and you don't have to like hold your purse as you're dancing. So I got this. I think it's a little kid's belt, unless it's for a really, really sick female individual. My waist will never be that small. So I got it to put on the purse. And I'll probably hook some D-ring clips on the bottom to give it a little extra length. And probably just easier to put on the purse. And I'll just take off the cloth one I had made originally, which worked and looked cute, but so that was that. Now the second thing is something that's so me. Now I love skirts like this. One of my favorite skirts looks similar to this. It doesn't have all the ruffles. It's just one, it's this length, but it's just one long piece of lace. And it came with like a pink silky underlining, but it got all snagged and it wasn't all that great when I first got it. Of course, it was a Salvation Army fine at that point, but it just started looking bleh. So I just cut off the pink part, and I thought about maybe adding another lining, but it's just as fun just with plain lace. You wear leggings over it, and you're good under it. Wearing leggings over a skirt might be a bit uncomfortable. But then I found this, and this was originally from H&M. Made in India. And it's the same, I think almost the same pattern lace. It just comes with a lot more ruffles. So this will probably be another favorite staple in my skirt collection. A little heavier though than the other one. The other one's a nice light skirt where it's more just to, cover your flabby booty in leggings, because my shape does not belong in nothing but leggings. Most people's shapes don't belong in nothing but leggings. It's something that you just wear under a piece of clothing, if you just don't want to go bare-legged. So, but this would be good just as a plain skirt, actually. So that was one of my favorite pieces. And this would actually go perfect with the jacket I got, and that's in my outfit of the day. So this might be what I'd end up wearing, regardless of my need to want to break up the black. I'll probably just end up doing it out of spite anyways. We'll see. It all depends on the mood. And the next thing I got, which still follows in with the wedding theme here, because I was still on a hunt for a pink skirt, just sort of to, like I said, to break up the black in the outfit I want to wear to the wedding, because people just get weird if you get, they get weird if you wear all black on a normal day-to-day basis, but if you go somewhere for like a holiday or a party type thing, they're like, like you've broken the cardinal rule of the planet, you know, like that. Well, you can't wear white after Labor Day, some dumbass thing like that. But if somebody tells me something like that, I'm usually likely to do it, just because people think it's an important rule to follow, even though it's not. So that's that. But gave me an excuse to go shopping anyway. So I found this. So if I'm in a more pleasant enough mood and actually agreed to wear color, this is probably what I'm going to go with. It's longer than I would like. I'm not a big fan of long skirts because I have that midget chicken legs. But it's a neat, it's an interesting color. I mean, I like it and I don't like it. I like the black and pink, but I'm not too fond about the shade of pink, the faded quality of it. I don't know. But I like the design where it's like a little ruffles on the bottom here, and they kind of go up at a diagonal. So it gives it a little flowy kind of aspect to it, and it's the polyester silky material with my favorite waistband in all the world. This came from the Fashion Bug. I don't think we have any of those anymore up here. I don't even know if they're still in business. And just a silky black lining. The back is just the same. So I thought that was pretty. So that's like a close runner-up. And the next skirt and final skirt in this haul is this. Now I'm thinking this is a DIY that somebody did, but again, my favorite waist in all the world. Now I might, I wonder. Now I can kind of sort of get my booty into this, but I can, but breathing and sitting down is a bit of an issue. But I might take out the elastic, because I don't know. Because it's just a little too tight, but if I stretch it out, I might get my butt in there, so that's a plan. But there's no tag on here, and just the way the styling is, it looks like something somebody had made, but it's a really good quality skirt. I mean, they did a really good job. And it's got a little split in the back, and it's a nice length. This is the type of length of skirt that I really like. And I like the patterning, in the color too. The pink, this is the main way I would do pink if it's splattered amongst the dark color, you know. And it's got a little underskirt. And it just reminds me of like the theme to Ruby Gloom when you see the silhouettes of the characters. Ruby Gloom, a really cool cartoon out of Canada. Wish they'd show that here. So that's that. So I'll have to try that. And the next thing I got is just a regular pair of pants. Nothing special. This was from The Limited. Now, what a Cassidy fit is. I mean, is there different, like, you know, Cindy fit and Barbara fit? This is Cassidy fit. This is not like Mama Cass fit, so I'm okay there. This is polyester rayon spandex, got a little oomph to it. This kind of reminds me of like a suit a man might have. Kind of the flashy, understated silver pant with little flips and pockets. Again, they're a little too long because, you know, you can't find pants that are short anymore. You used to be able to. So for people like me who have the 4-inch discrepancy. But just another pair of pants. And the next to the last thing. Sorry, I think I got Catherine's hairball. as this. I had seen it and kind of wanted to walk past it, and I'm like, yeah, I really like that purse. I think I seen it in the beginning of the week, too, actually. Because we went in the beginning of the week, and then I went on a normal day later in the week, and it was still there, I think. And I just liked kind of the, almost the 3D quality of the pattern, and of course it's, you know, red, which is my next favorite color. But it's like red and brown, not red and black. But it's okay. And I just looked like it would fit my netbook. And it does. Because you can't really find any bags that fit a netbook. Because I hide my face. Love this little thing too. I was actually impressed. I didn't expect this to do much of anything, but it's like an actual computer. But then, you know, if you set your standards low, you're easily impressed. I have another bag that I had gotten specifically for that too, that mother's all jealous of because it's some name brand I could care less about. I don't know, just looked attractive, that's all. I could care less about name brands as long as it's, you know, attractive looking, woohoo. But it's a little too big, and and even that gets lost in the purse. But I wanted something a little easier so didn't have to hunt for everything. It's like a single pocket in that one, and like the other pockets are on the outside. This is one of those like kind of ancient style purses like Grandma used to have that have all the splits in the middle. And you've got quite a few pockets in here, which kind of amazed me, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 pockets in here. And the neat thing is, you used to have purses that have these dividers in them, but they wouldn't divide anything because they divide the top. But they'd be open on the bottom, so the stuff would like move between pockets. And it's like, what's the point of putting a divider if it's not actually dividing anything? This one actually seemed to have actual separate pockets where they are all divided. So I can have my netbook and then its cord and various other devices, and actually keep them separate, know where they are. So I saw that. There's no name brand to it. There's nothing, you know, just made in China, and maybe it came out of Walmart at one point. I have no idea. But it was cute, and it fits. And the final thing I had seen beginning of the week, and I'm like, oh, these are really kind of cute. And I'm like, I have enough shoes, but, you know, there's always room for, like, me, shoes and books, there's always room for one more. You know, I will make room for another book or a pair of shoes. Which reminds me, I will at some point need to like reorganize my shoe collection for the ones that fit good and wear all the time in the main shoe collection, and put the rest in the back in the closet now that I can actually reach the top, because I got a step that, you know, I won't fall off of now. So that is a mission to be done. So I went back later in the week and like they're still there looking at me like, I fit you and I need a home. So, of course, I got them. Now, these are actually really comfy. I've worn them a few times. And I wasn't quite sure because the shoes are, you know, kind of, I don't know if it's just the way they're making shoes now or my feet are getting weirdly shaped, but they always seem to like, when they curve just at my pinky toe, and it kind of squishes it, so it's slightly uncomfortable that way. And I've got a few shoes like that. The shoes are the right size and they're big and plenty of room, but they just curve too early, you know what I mean? And I've got midget feet too. I'm only a 7. I can fit into 6s mostly too. But these do the same thing. So I've got like a long, so they're like long here, but they're still kind of, I don't know, but they're more comfortable than some of the other shoes I have. They're leather uppers, and there's something called Tootsies. Never heard of them. But they reminded me of shoes that you might have seen in like the 1920s, or even farther back, like Little House on the Prairie age there. And I just thought that was neat. It just reminds me of, you know, the pictures that I might have seen as great grandma as a kid, or, you know, just very, very, very old fashioned. And they have these little buttons and these little elastic doodads go over that, which makes them really easy to get on, and kind of gives you a little more stretch too. They're not like insanely tight or anything, so they're really comfy. So that was my weakness. I still hope that I'll find like a pair of classic Nanas or a pair of Demonias. I think I did see a pair of, I don't know if they were Demonias or not, but they were like really neat, like Cybergoth boots, but of course they were males, so they're like 3 times too big, and I'm like, oh. And they had cut they came with like elastic straps on the front, and I can understand why they probably did that, because it was probably too tight, but they were the coolest frickin' boots, but they weren't girls. I'm like, why? So I'm vainly hoping I'll stumble across a nice pair of those type of boots. I do have another pair of silver Nanas, which unfortunately are buried in Mother's house. And I'm thinking, how can I turn them black? And I'm thinking, well, maybe like black duct tape or something, you know, because silver doesn't quite go with anything. But the style and the comfort of that boot is just, oh, because I got it at the same time as my original Nanas, which are slowly dying. And I've probably circumferenced the earth twice in those. So, those are like the standard all my other boots have to maintain. So, that is it for the 3rd try in filming this video of my Goodwill haul, mega haul. Comment, subscribe, rate the video, and I'll see you next time.